Hey folks and welcome. Today I've got an iconic pair of Gucci loafers, and as you can see, to see these are in bad condition is quite a compliment for them. I picked these up for just over £20 on eBay, which is about $25, and today I'm going to see if it's worth it. As you can see, these are quite worn. They feel really dry, and the toes are curled up like the witch out of Wizard of Oz. So, are these too far gone? Have I made a mistake buying them? Oh, let's see how they turn out. I think the first thing to do is just to give them a clean. Starting off with the outside. Just dust it off with the horsehair brush. Brush inside as well. Now the inside isn't great, so I'm going to give it a clean out with the Worth Interior Cleaner. Just going to use a toothbrush and this soft brush to clean out the inside. And wipe. Spray. And wipe out again. And now to tackle the outside. There are a few marks here, so I'm going to see what the interior cleaner does on these. That's them both had a nice clean, and a lot better to work with now. Next thing I want to address is just the dryness of these, and for that I'm going to use Saphir Renovateur, something that you've seen me use before. Again, this, just a little bit on your finger, just rub it in. I can actually feel this getting soaked in really fast, so I might give it a couple of coats. That's the first coat on. As you can see, it's already dried in here. It's obvious these shoes were needing a really good nourishment. Now for another coat. With the second coat applied, let's get some shape into these with the shoe tree. That's a lot better. Just to help this shape, I'm just going to get some more Renovateur and work it in. Just kind of work on the leather. And I'm going to do the other shoe as I wait for this one to dry. With the Renovateur dry, let's give the shoes a brush off, just to see what they're like. much better. Having a look over the shoes, there are a few parts like this where it's just got some damage. So for these, I'm just going to use some leather filler. This is a flexible leather filler that won't crack, and it's quite pliable. Now that it's dried off and flattened, I'm going to use some Beauty de Cure by Saphir. This is just a colourant cream. This is just to help mask the colour. I did go over that again with more filler in black colourant, just to even it off a little bit more. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Now just to go over it with a brush. Next I'm going to use some Saphir Medalla d'Or. This one is a cream polish, which also has black pigment in it. It also adds nutrients into the leather, while giving it a colour as well. Now that's had a good coating, I'm just going to leave it to dry overnight. It's evening time just now, so it should be nice and dry and soaked in by then. It does say you can leave it on for about 5 minutes, then brush it off. But I just prefer to leave it on longer. I know a few other folk do as well. As you can see, the sole does have some wear and tear. Some of the threads are starting to show here. There is still a lot of life left in these. So what I'm going to do, just to make this look a bit nicer, is actually dye the soles. So first thing I'm going to do is get some acetone, just to clean them off. Next I'm going to use some of this Angelus Jet Black dye. Now I'll go over it with a couple of coats and leave this to dry overnight as well. The dye soaked in quite nicely overnight. I've got a real nice finish, a lot better than before. One thing I would say is just watch for dye transference. I usually give it a rub with a tissue for a good while, just to get any sort of excess dye or any remnants off. So let's give it a brush with a horsehair brush. See how the Medalla d'Or is soaked in. That's turned out pretty nice. I think the next thing is just to give it a bit more shine and protection from any wet weather. It's just to use some Saphir Medalla d'Or wax. Just get some on a cloth and just start working it in. The heat from the friction actually helps this process. This is a really nice polish, as I said. This will help with waterproofing, and also it'll give it a bit more of a shine than it would just now. Just remember to get into the little corners of everything as well. Now, I've found just through experience not to go too heavy on the polish, as the more I put on, the more it takes to kind of polish it off. So sometimes less is more. Now it's had a good coating of the wax and rubbed in, what I like to do is just take the cloth, start buffing it off. Don't like to leave it on for too long. Again, the heat and the friction helps just work it in, get a lovely finish. Then I go over with a second cloth. This one's just a bit cleaner. Next, I use a horsehair brush. This is one that I tend to keep separate from the one I use for buffing off any dirt and debris. Just use this for finishing. And again with a lovely soft brush cotton rag. Followed by a buff with this beautiful soft goat's hair brush. There is some glare from the light now, just because of the shine. But in person, these look very nice. I'm quite happy with the added protection against water. Talking about water protection, I also want to protect these leather soles. As they are made from leather, they are susceptible to water. I just want to add some protection as well as nourish them, make them a bit more flexible. So I'm going to use some of this Saphir sole guard. This is great because it helps with waterproofing, keeps the leather supple, and it also helps with grip and longevity. Just going to get some into a cloth. That's had a good coating. Just going to leave it to dry in now. Overall, I'm very happy with how these turned out. Shape is a lot better. Even retained without the shoe trees. These are so much more wearable. Though they aren't perfect, they're just so much better. These feel and smell a lot fresher. So I think I'm going to add these to my collection as well. Anyway folks, thanks very much for watching, and if you like this video, please feel free to hit the thumbs up, it really helps. Also, if you want to see more, feel free to check out my other videos, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, have a great day.